guys, how's it going? I hope everyone is doing well day or night whenever you tune in and see this. So this is going to be a really quick astrology notes update for the next series of readings. So from approximately about April 20th to about May 20th. So if I stop for a few moments here and there, it's just because it is a little bit windy out here. And I want to make sure that, of course, you guys can hear me, okay? So again, I hope everyone is doing well whenever you see this. And so we'll just break down a little bit of the basics of some of the astrology key points coming up from about April 20th to May 20th, okay? And we've got the little lake in the background with some ducks and some birds and all that good stuff. So yes, so let's get into it. So when we're starting with the first astrology note, we're talking about on April 20th, Juno is going to be entering into water sign Pisces. All right, so Juno rules soulmates, partnerships, not just romantic, but then also marriage and commitments. Okay, so when it's going to be entering into water sign Pisces, it can bring up a lot of let's say illusions, possible illusions for some around those themes, but it doesn't necessarily have to be the illusion aspect of Pisces. It can also be the more dreamlike creative aspects of those things. But since Neptune is one of the rulers of Pisces, right, we do have that capacity for some illusions or not being clear about certain things around commitments, soulmates, partnerships, and what else did I say? Marriage, right? So there could be something going on around that time period, okay? Now moving forward, on April 23rd, we have the last quarter moon. Okay, so since we talk about the planets and asteroids and what we're doing, we also, of course, will talk about what the moon is doing as well. And then on April 29th, we have two things coming up on April 29th. So the first thing is Pluto is going to be going retrograde on the 29th. Okay, so again, Pluto energy, when we were talking about the Pisces energy, could deal with truth, okay, and transformation. So truth and transformations could be more muddled at this time, right, since Pluto is going retrograde, and then we also had Juno in Pisces around some of those themes as well, okay? Now the other thing that's going to be happening on April 29th, right, is Mercury is going to be entering into air sign Gemini, okay? And that is one of its natural placements. So as far as that is like a really pretty good placement and favorable energy there, right? So Mercury rules electronics, communications, just to name a few, right? But it doesn't have to be, you know, a bad thing when it's coinciding with that Gemini energy. That is that natural communicative energy of Gemini, okay, and like faster paced air energy. Now, just a day later, we also have on April 30th, two things happening. So the first thing is Athena Pallas, which is an asteroid. It's not a planet, right? It's going to be entering into Earth sign Taurus. So Athena Pallas talks about defense, talks about justice, it talks about talents in the arts, wisdom, intuition, okay, so some of those things could be coming into play at that time as well. A little bit before, a little bit after will be different for everybody depending on how sensitive you are, but it can bring up themes like who is wise and who says that they're wise, right, and do you agree with that, okay, just as an example, all right? But then the other big thing that we have coming up as far as on the same day, on April 30th, we have the new moon solar partial eclipse in Taurus that's going to be happening on April 30th, okay? So when we talk about the moon, right? Some people like to do their manifestations during a full moon when it looks like a C, right? So as it's building, whatever you're trying to manifest is increasing. But some people like to do their manifestations on full moon. It's already full, of course, right? But I always say do it whenever you feel called, because your intention is always the most important. It doesn't necessarily have to coincide with the moon if that's not something that speaks to you at that particular time, right? But yes, when we talk about the Taurus energy and also the eclipse energy, this is a partial eclipse, we're talking about the nodes, right, are going to be activated or already have been activated for some people. Of course, it is kind of general, right? But when we talk about the north node and we talk about the south node, the north node would be, as an example, what your life path is, what your soul mission is while you're here in this body on earth, right? It could also be matters of career. And then the south node is more of your karmic lessons, karma, that kind of thing, lessons that you've learned from past lives or previous lifetimes or different incarnations, however you want to say it, or stuff that you still haven't learned yet, okay? So when we talk about the north node being in Taurus and in the south node being in Scorpio, this started last year at some point, and it's going to be going to about 2023, I think in June 2023, I don't remember exactly. But basically what we're talking about here as far as the partial eclipse on April 30th is it's going to be highlighting some of those themes in the nodes and triggering certain people. So if you are, let's say, a sun sign, rising sign, or even have your moon in Scorpio, you may be more triggered during this time. Okay, guys, so sorry about that, it was really windy. So basically what I was saying was if you're a sun sign, rising sign, or moon sign in Scorpio, or even Taurus, you may be really activated during the eclipses or throughout the year, or you may be triggering and activating other people if it's not you yourself, okay? So we're just talking about this first eclipse that's coming up on April 30th, okay? But we will talk about the other ones as they come up. But you can always Google it, like when are the eclipses happening for the year that we're in now, 2022, of course. But let's keep moving forward. I don't want to spend too much time on that, okay? So this is supposed to be brief kind of astrology news general, right? So then on May 2nd, Venus is going to be entering air sign Aries. I'm sorry, not air sign, fire sign Aries. Okay, so Venus covers themes of love, beauty, assets, higher forms of wealth, okay? Going to be more in that fiery Aries energy, even though we'll already be out of Aries season and we'll be in Taurus season by then, or about to be, you know, a little bit crossover, is basically that, you know, the fiery energy of Aries, since it's the first sign in the zodiac, is really good for, right, that entrepreneurial energy, that creative energy, leadership energy, okay? So when it's coinciding with Venus energy of, let's say, beauty, love, higher forms of assets, I feel like it could be a really creative time for you. And we all have Aries energy somewhere within our individual birth charts, right? So you can find out where your Aries is, and find out where that may be bringing up some of those Venus themes for you, and seeing how that can be more favorable for you if you know about it ahead of time, or even after the fact, but just kind of seeing where that energy may be coming up for you. All right, now moving forward on May 3rd, we have Jupiter is going to be sextiling Pluto. All right, so remember by this point, Pluto is already in retrograde, but Jupiter, which is the ruler of Sagittarius and Pisces, right? But it is known as the planet of expansion. So it magnifies and amplifies whatever it touches, right? So if it's going to be, you know, Jupiter coming around and sextiling Pluto, it's going to be magnifying more of that Pluto and retrograde themes, right, of possible disillusionment, mental confusion, anxiety, worry for some on the negative side, but then on the more positive side, it could be more about the creativity, it could be more about dream-like qualities, intuition, right, getting in touch with all of those things, the veil, if you're into that, mediumship, all of that, all right? But we're just going to keep going forward because we have a couple more notes here, okay? So then on May 8th, we have a first quarter moon, and then the big Mercury turns retrograde on May 10th, okay? So this will be the first retrograde, Mercury retrograde of this year, and some people tend to feel it like 2 weeks ahead of time. Some people feel it during the actual retrograde, or some people feel it after, or you feel all of it. It will be different for everybody. But just a heads up, retrogrades are not all bad, right? When we talk about even the Pluto retrograde, I forgot to mention this earlier. Retrograde means things are going backwards, okay? It means it could just be revisiting something that happened to you that you didn't process or heal enough, or another person, right? As far as when was the last Mercury retrograde, what was happening during that time for me, and now that it's happening again, Mercury is now going backwards and retrograde again. What could that mean as far as if there's any crossover themes or issues or things to finally heal or look at, right? But Mercury again covers communication and electronics, just to name a few. All right, so it could be a little bit harder for some people to communicate more clearly at this time, or it could be the communication is just slowed down, or there's more interruptions, right? It doesn't mean, again, that everything is going to be all bad. It could just be that things are going at this pace, of course, divine timing for a reason, okay? So we could go and spend like an hour on Mercury retrograde, but let's keep going forward, okay? So on the same day, on May 10th, Jupiter enters into... wait, I thought we did that. Did we do that? No, we didn't. Okay. So Jupiter enters into fire sign Aries. We had earlier Jupiter was coinciding with Pluto. That's why I was like, wait, Jupiter again. Okay. So when Jupiter enters into Aries, there can be, again, more of an increase of like Aries themes, okay? So leadership, passion, creativity on the more positive side. On the shadow side, there could be more anger, frustrations, warlike energy, right? Since Mars is the ruler of Aries, okay? But, you know, it depends on where Aries falls in your chart and how you may transmute or deal with that energy, all right? Now, moving forward on May 11th, the next day, we have Jupiter is now going to also be semi-square to Uranus, okay? So Uranus, right, we have a lot of energy going into this year so far with Aquarius energy. So Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius, okay? So, you know, this is talking about technology, inventions, original ideas, right? It can be very positive things for entrepreneurs too, as far as Aries and even that Aquarius energy you was just mentioning, but also the Aries or not Aries, sorry. Okay, let me slow it down. When Jupiter is semi-square Uranus, and Jupiter is also already in Aries, right? So you have the fiery Aries energy with the air quality of Aquarius Uranus energy. So Uranus is known for also shocks and surprises, right? It could also be that there's just a lot of change going on in general when we talk about Uranus energy, okay? So there could be some of that around that particular day on May 11th. It could be a little bit before, a little bit after, but it's just a little astrology note here. Now moving forward on May 15th, we have Ceres is an asteroid, right? So she's going to be entering into water sign Cancer. So Ceres is, and I think that's how you say it, I'm not sure exactly, but I'm going to go with it. She is very similar to the Greek god Demeter, okay? So she represents agriculture, nurturing energy, nutrition, food, cooking, just to name a few. All right, guys. Whatever. So my feet were falling asleep. I had to change the camera around a little bit. So let's keep going. So what I was about to say was on May 16th, we have now the first and only full moon that we have in May, right? But what is really cool about this full moon is it's going to be now on the same day as the lunar eclipse, and this time it's going to be the total lunar eclipse, right? So before we were talking about where were we? Well, yes, April 30th was that partial lunar eclipse, okay? And now we're talking about May 16th, when you're going to have that total lunar eclipse, okay? So that is definitely going to be an interesting day. And just like any full moons, right, any energy that is present during that time, right, will feel maybe possibly for some a little bit more dramatic, or on the way out, right, more expression during that time, possibly during any full moon, of course, but maybe in particular, because again, when we're talking about the eclipses for this year, right, is going to be coinciding with the North Node and that South Node energy, right? So again, the North Node being in Taurus and the South Node being in Scorpio, okay? So it could be that you're activating people more at that time, or other people are also activating you, vice versa, wherever you find yourself there, right? But people of Taurus and Scorpio rising sign, sun sign, moon sign, or even your Venus in Taurus or Scorpio, or it doesn't have to be just those placements, right? If you know and you've gotten a free birth chart online already before, and you know your other placements, then wherever your Taurus and Scorpio energies are, you could be feeling it more in regards to the North Node and the South Node. So again, the South Node being more your karmic lessons, karma in general, right? Things you've learned from previous lifetimes or earlier in your life before, right? And what you still need to learn, okay, to go forward. And then your North Node is more about why you're here, on this planet, in this body, right? In this human body at this time, right? So maybe more matters of like career, or just what your life path is in general, all right? But again, the full moon and the lunar total eclipse on the May 16th, and then also on the April 30th partial lunar eclipse, or could be like really important days as far as the astrology notes for this time period. All right, moving forward then, on May 17th, the next day, we have Saturn, and it's going to be semi-sextiling Neptune, okay? So Saturn is one of the rulers of, or is the ruler of Capricorn energy, right? So Capricorn and Saturn energy tend to be, as a generalization, when we're talking about the positive side, right, it would be more about responsibilities, getting serious about something, okay? And then when you're putting it with that Neptune energy of possible, effects of drugs, alcohol, dreamlike states, right? So that would be good as far as excuse me, of course everything in moderation, but it would be good as far as like creative energy if you're an artist, right? If you're taking those things into moderation. But when we're talking about the shadow side of that Neptune energy, or going too far with substances, of course that's when it can get a little bit tricky and even dangerous, right? But what's interesting is when you have that Neptune energy with the Saturn energy, it's almost like a parent and a child, or a young child. So I was saying that Saturn and the Neptune energy is almost like being a parent and then having a young child. So Saturn would be the parent, the responsibility. This is what you need to do. This stern energy about being focused and on task, right? And then if you had to, as an example, the Neptune energy would be that young child that is kind of like la 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 in dream world, kind of all over the place. All right. Okay, so moving forward, finally, then we're now talking about on May 20th, we'll be officially into Gemini season, right? So happy birthday ahead of time to all the Geminis out there, of course. And if I didn't say earlier before, happy birthday or happy belated birthday to all the Tauruses out there. It's not officially Taurus season when I'm filming this, but maybe by the time I post it, it will already be. So of course, happy birthday, belated, advance, before, during, and after to all the Tauruses and Geminis coming up. All right. So yeah, actually that's where we end our notes there. Let's see if there's anything else I wanted to talk about. No, I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, we talked about Neptune, talking about dreams, confusion, drugs, alcohol, magical, enchanting, energy. We talked about, yeah, I think we pretty much covered everything. So anyway, thank you guys so much, and hopefully you were able to hear me okay with the wind here and everything. So you guys take care, and we will, since I was just talking about Taurus, be starting with Taurus as the first sign for this series of readings coming up, and then I'll be going from Taurus onwards, kind of through the natural order of the signs. Okay, so you guys take care, and again, if you haven't subscribed yet and you want to, it is free, right? It just notifies you when I put out more videos, so you can click on the bell icon on the bottom right and make sure it's blue and it's active if you want to subscribe. And yeah, always feel free to let me know, guys, in the comments down below how you think about this astrology notes video. And of course, I'll always try to mention the key dates in the individual zodiac readings as well. But yeah, I will see you guys later. All right, take care. Bye.